Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 10 Win Tuesday here on channel Trevor-The-Timmy. Today we're going to be playing some Esper Doom. So this is kind of a classic. A lot of the cards are from the previous set. We are trying a couple new favorites just to see everything that goes in, but you can see the full deck list here. It's pretty much the normal Doom type plan of playing a lot of cheap ETB creatures or ETB effects to be able to bounce with Doom, get a lot of value. Definitely going heavy on the Doom Foretold package to get a lot of value out of that. I do love that card. I think it's very strong. It makes it very tough for your opponents to play around. We are trying one of the Retribution here, just the Minor Angel synergies. Going up with 3 of the Wrath. I still do like Extinction Event for the Exile, but I've been happy having 7 Wraths overall. And then we're trying the 1 Epiphany as well, just as a way to be able to end a game pretty quickly when you've got a good amount of creatures out. You can just do that back-to-back turn, hit them for a bunch of damage and go for a win. And then we've got, of course, some of the pathways in here. So you can see the various new pathways, or various new pathway, I should say, just make the mana a little bit faster so we're not having so many tap lands. But that's the list so far, and we'll jump right in. Dive on in. Pick some Esper here. Let's go. We can see how this will go. Maybe not as fast as the last Red League that we played. Hopefully we'll get there. If you have any thoughts about the best build, let me know. I know there's a lot of people that are preferring the Sultai list right now, which obviously with Tibalt, that's a pretty big gain. Okay. We had a couple lands. Hopefully this will dig us to a 3rd land from there. I mean, this is not the strongest hand ever, but in theory, if we're playing some kind of aggro deck, these are both pretty strong, so we will keep it. Ideally, okay, so based on how they're mulliganing, we might be running into Tibalt's Trickery, which is the joy of playing best of 1. Just a painfully bad experience. I don't think I've ever advocated for banning a card just for being obnoxious before, but that one should definitely go. It just does not make best of 1 a fun format. Maybe the opponent's on something else by how much they're thinking, but yeah, that should have definitely been just worded as counter an opponent's spell. It should not be letting you combo the way it does. So hopefully we can avoid that too much this league, because those are just not fun games. You either more or less win or lose on turn 2 if they cascade into Ugin or something like that. Well, at least we're not playing against that. We do need to hit a 3rd land. We'll take any 3rd land to either be able to play this, or if we ideally get a white one, we'll be able to cast Doomscar. But any land will let us play this, and then if we need to start searching, we can always sack it to dig deeper for another land. Well, that's not the land we needed there. We've got about a turn now to hit a land. Interesting. A nice red-white aggro. Okay, that's probably what I would be doing too if I were them, because this is pretty clearly Doomscar. Of course, that's the land. So I think first we're gonna start casting Omens, see if we can get them to commit more before we Doomscar. We might just be basically dead here anyway. So they activate the land. It's 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, nice human there. Oh, they're warriors? Oh, I guess that's not a human. That makes sense. So we should just be dead either way, right? If we get a land, we can't sweep everything. I guess we can make it so we kill everything but that if we do evens. Okay, so I need the black mana then. And then hope we hit an untapped land. Yeah, look, we did. I guess we're going another black then. Oh, but they've got that. Yeah, we're dead. Assuming they didn't have the land, that was the correct play. Obviously did not matter at all when they have the land. Not hitting a third land for that long definitely hurts. I think we were in a pretty insane spot otherwise with double Wrath and double whatever the 2/1/1s, excuse me, gain 2 is. I think if we hit a third land on time, we're very unlikely to lose that game. So I would make the same keep again. Obviously did not work out. Well, this one's a little worse. We're going to go the same way though. I mean, if we hit a third land, we're going to draw into a bunch more. So we'll keep it. We're going to play that first because this can be untapped if needed. We're going to have to find a black land, which is awkward if we hit straight A. If we hit a blue card, that's definitely awkward. We're going to play that tapped. We don't just want to do 6 to ourselves. Helps them out too much. Definitely a little awkward though. I mean, there's definitely worse things that could be hit. Let's foretell, make them be in a little bit of an awkward spot. So most likely Wrathing next turn, but if they don't commit enough, then we have just Omen. Probably will not Blessing before. That's awkward. Especially not hitting another land. Oof. I mean, we are Wrathing. Them having 4/1/1s. Not exactly ideal. The 2-lane hands are going to just destroy us, apparently, the entire video. So I guess if they don't have Wrath, we can maybe still be alive. By Wrath, I mean they would not be playing Wrath if they don't have the Ember Cleave. We need a Wrath. Combining ideas there. Apologize for that confusion. But most likely they just have Ember Cleave, and then we are so dead. Sure. I don't know why you're playing that before combat, but I guess it doesn't particularly matter. They're fine. Well, that does not do enough of anything for us, so I normally like playing against red decks with this too. I think you're in a pretty good spot because you're just removal and then have an insane late game, but not hitting lands will do it. It's okay, one of these we will have more than 2. And maybe that means I'm just keeping too aggressively, but I think both of those were fine hands. The first game particularly was a much stronger hand than with the Scryland. them having double Wrath protection was a little rough. I mean, we're going to keep this. So if they're playing the human version where they all get bigger, like we saw last time, it's a little awkward, but I like being able to put bodies in the way. Just gain life, slow them down. This puts it on a knight. Okay. And maybe that's something we should have bottomed. It could be too aggressive, especially with all the Orions. That we should just be looking for a Wrath. But if we get this thing to attack, we'll get it with Omen. Or we'll just get it this way. Hopefully hit the auto-equip equipment from their hand if they don't have a third land. Of course they do have a third land, and here it comes. Ugh. The fact that they ripped that land off the top feels pretty bad too. Maybe we'll have a good 0-win Tuesday. That's just such a beating. Would have been in a really good spot if they don't hit the third land and then instantly hit them all. What can you do? Good old 0-3 start. To look for more Wraths, I suppose. That is why very much I like the Exile Wrath still. I know everyone loves the Foretell one, and I like it as an addition, but being able to exile the 2-drop that becomes indestructible is such a big deal. You're just going to refuse to hit 3 lands in this. We're going to keep it. We've got Removal Spell into Wrath and a bunch of card advantage, so I think most decks we should be okay against. A bunch of tapped lands is working out very awkwardly too for putting in extra untapped lands in this deck. We don't need a second Heartless Act, because even if they're an aggro deck, we'd rather start building towards our 2 Wraths. Hit the extra lands. If it's a mono green, and we lose a mono green, I'll feel pretty bad. Ugh. What are they? Knights? Dwarfs, okay. Not that we're doing anything with that. We do need to just get white mana here. Just so we have all our colors. We are not meant to hit lands with this deck. Like, being able to just play this on turn 3, kill that, and then get the advantage is where you're supposed to be, but... well, we are pretty dead, right? They'll hit for 5, 9. I mean, I guess we're technically alive, so we'll play it out, but... land always a day late, $1 short. Okay, well, they didn't have cleave, so they could play a non-red Wrath Protection card, that would be outstanding. We probably are just going to Extinction Event here. So since we get both of them, this is more mana efficient later. I mean, there's a chance they have Ooze or something too, so exiling those has some value. Most likely they just have Dragon here to end it though. Okay, that's not quite a Dragon. Oh, we are going to have to Wrath though, which is... I guess we don't have to Wrath, we can Nightmare. We need to get rid of this though, so they aren't just getting all the treasures. This Blessing is going to be so bad for us though. Okay, so we probably are just hard casting Yorion next turn. Get rid of one Dragonfire. They can always can exile that. That's cute. Yeah, let's get Yorion out. We'll eat this. Take away their card advantage. Stop them from pinging us down to death. Yeah, they do get rid of that, which is fine. Okay, we'll take the win. I think we were going to have it eventually, but it would have been close enough. Our hand was not particularly insane against them, so we'll take it though. Pick up that first win. I think that's more of how it's supposed to play out against aggro. I mean, hitting the lands is just such a big deal. I guess they may be more mid-rangey, but either way, we should be advantaged. I don't know how great we are against Sultai. I think Sultai probably wins the late game for the most part, which is probably what we're going against here. But we'll give it a try. Okay, so they're not straight Sultai. Question is, do we want to go with this so we can... we're going to... Okay, we want that. And the mirror, just getting to eat something from their hand is good. The duress effect. Debating Passage, so that way we get that out of the way, and then our scry is actually valuable later, because we'll undo that scry in a turn or two. Probably next turn even. So we have a 3-drop we want. So there's some kind of Jeskai Snow. So ideally they'd play a creature. I don't see that happening, but if they did, it would be outstanding. So they've either got the card draw, I guess, is the most likely. Could be Wrath or Epiphany. We'll take the black mana. Well, we've already got a Swamp. We'll go with second white then. Get the Nightmare going. Then most likely we're Blessings next turn. Unless if we hit a land, then we'll Doom Foretold and follow it up with Blessings the following turn. Just getting Doom Foretold going is so good in these decks. Especially when you can use it to kill off a Blessing. Elspeth Conquers Death is a good late game. So I feel okay with where we are. I mean, the Wraths aren't insane, but you can get rid of an opponent's Yorion. I haven't seen a lot of control decks with these. What does everyone think we'll actually get next for Snow Duels? What type of Snow Duel will we get? So they want to hide something for us. We're getting a Search for Glory. What is that actually? Legendary card Saga. Okay. I think given that, since we're getting nothing off Doom Foretold, discard things that aren't great. We're just going to Blessing. Start to get our advantage here. We'll discard a Wrath. I think we're going to keep that still, because they're going to play this at some point. We'll get rid of Doomscar. We'll keep the event in case we want to exile. But I mean, at some point they have to play this. The longer they wait, the better it is for us. And then when they do, we get value off this. These are most likely the card draw spells, I think. So we should be able to get full value, just get the 2 for 1. They're going to gain some life. That's very relevant in this matchup. I'm excited to see what they've got going, though. I've not seen that card played at all yet. Okay, so they can grab something from their sideboard. It won't live that long. The turn after they play Esper Doom Foretold. That's perfect. So this is going to force them to play it. Otherwise, we'll steal it next turn. Let's get the passage out. Let's get the pathway, because the passage can find any. Yeah, that's fine. Just keep grinding through on cards. We're happy to sacrifice a Blessing. We'd like to have 1 around for when we Yorion, but 2 of them does start to give them some chances to aggro us out. See if they have some kind of combo to end the game that I'm unaware of. We could be in a lot of trouble. Outside of that, I think we're in a really good spot. These are some of the cards I want most in a Yorion-ish mirror. So if they play this, we will just Doom Foretold to get rid of it. If they don't, then we probably will go Second Blessing Yorion. Or Second Blessing first to see what we hit, maybe then Yorion. If we get something else we can play that's better, then we will not play Yorion. Just keep getting value. Okay, that's the logical, correct play, I would agree, not knowing we have Doom Foretold. Let's see, maybe they have. Oh, we're just going for Yorion, thinking they're getting some value. Oh, we got the Nexus. They've got that sweet, sweet combo from our draft videos. If anyone goes back and watches those, we've got the sweet, just do that, search for everything, such value. Let's get Doom Foretold going. And get our land out. Perfect, just grinding them out. Feel like we're in still a very good spot for that. This is really not a beatdown. If this gets there, then we've done something terribly wrong. These are the card draw, or if they're they take an extra turn. Well, if they take an extra turn, then we get the Foretold right away. That might be a nice use for them, so we don't get to sacrifice the Blessing. Either way, though, we can just not play this other one. Still feeling pretty good overall, unless they somehow take like 3 turns in a row and do 15 to us. Which is possible. These could both be the take extra turns. We are representing a counterspell at least. It's not super likely in Yorion, but representing it. These could both also be the counterspell. So they've got, what, 4 options we're thinking. Wrath, take extra turn, draw a counterspell. particularly love a lot of counterspells in these decks, just because you're tapping out so much. Okay, so we'll see how lucky they are, how many they have before they've even gone out of 60 cards in their library. And we're going to make them pitch a card and gain some life, so it'll be tough for them too. Completely kill us off of that, but maybe. Also, if they do it again, we're just going to Wrath and then continue on. But it's definitely a good effort. If they hit all 4 of them before they go down to 60 cards, then they probably win. Oh. So we got another passage. So the thing is, we can't even return a creature with that, so it's not particularly great. I think we're going to go with this and then set up the Doomscar for a future turn, because they most likely have to counter that. If they have the counter, then we get Doomscar. We'll take another white source right now. It's perfect. So we want to get rid of not taking 4 this turn, and then we really do want to sacrifice the Blessing. If they take another turn, we don't get to sacrifice Blessing, but then we gain another 2 life. I do love this for the Esper version. It seems to grind out most. Probably not Sultai, because that ultimatum endgame is insane. Perfect. I would have liked to hit a land there. Get in for some damage. The question is, do we want to draw? I think we're just going to get rid of everything right now. We should mostly be winning a long game. We will go for the card draw here, though. 3-stock our hand back up. Hopefully we hit a land, which we did. It's going to be tough for them to pull ahead at this point. So right now we'd be looking for another Doom Foretold. Just get rid of this eventually. Or a way to bring one of these Doom Foretolds back. So if we're casting these. True it will. We've got plenty of life to play with here. Urion's actually probably good enough to, yeah. We'll get rid of the egg. We'll keep Yorion so we can cast an Omen. And then just draw a million. We'll go incredibly deep in the deck. What is fun is we can, I mean, we get 1 less value off this Omen, but we're going to end up discarding anyway. And the question is, do we even want to hold up both of these? And we'll cast an Omen. So just saving the life. I think we're going to have drawn so many cards, we want both of those. This is game over. don't need Temple. We will take Epiphany though. Card 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll keep the dances just to keep going late. We might as well keep playing lands as long as they want to keep playing this game. We've got a removal if they try to do anything too fancy. Most likely we're just going to go to end the game next turn though, instead of going over the top with dance. Cast this, make 2 more birds, so get in for 6, and then get in for 8. And it's not completely game over, but it's close enough. If they play anything relevant, then we can dance and go for value. Sure. Well, then we will dance. It's time to dance. Woman's fine. Keep playing things while gaining life. This, unless they have a counterspell, should be a concession. Okay, well then that should be a concession. We'll get rid of the other. I just don't think it matters particularly. But we will keep playing as long as they want to. Unless we cast enough spell to kill ourselves. We're in a good spot. Okay, got there. Esper Doom doing some things finally. Gotta love that. If you're enjoying any of the videos, definitely consider liking and subscribing. I would appreciate it. We'll keep putting videos out. We'll have some more draft videos coming. I always appreciate everyone watching. If there's anything exciting you see, any thoughts you have about building the deck differently, definitely leave a comment. It's appreciated as well. Same thing, if there's any Timmy plays, I always appreciate hearing areas that could improve. We've got our 3 lands. This is like super late game though. I mean, we're going to keep it. It's not, we'd rather have this be a card draw spell or that be one. But we can remove if they're any kind of aggressive deck. We can remove some things. I don't think there's anything we're going to want to act this turn. Okay, so that's something we will act. So we're going to get the black source so we can have all 3 colors. With that, we're actually going to let them draw, which is a little awkward because we're not doing anything, but we're going to use this and just clean up everything other than the human token. So we'll Yorion. And we could have alternately cast Omen and tried to go for trades, but they're feeling pretty good about themselves. So we're going to mostly clear off their board, and then we'll go from there. We're going to have basically all the colors. I think we'll get another white source. So if we somehow decide we want to Yorion next turn, we need to odd here. And we could still obviously lose. They have a pretty full hand, but this is the type of game we want to be in. We're going to be on turn 5, and we'll be at 15. Okay. We'll see if they'll attack into... That should be good enough, I think, especially next turn if we have Omen up, it fits nicely in with that. If they just attack with a Beast, we'll Heartless Act it. If they attack with the 1/1s, we'll Omen to trade with them. And they either need to use a removal spell to keep a 1/1, or hopefully Beast is not attacking next turn. But trading resources is mostly where we want to be. Just kind of building up some enchantments on the field. I don't know why you let me block if you were gonna do that, unless you thought I was gonna chump block. But we'll take it. That ties up almost their entire turn. Let's see if we can find another land. That is a land. Do we want the egg then? So we're playing this next turn to remove their 1/1. We're going to Yorion at some point. Probably Yorion next turn though, so I don't think we want the egg. That's not a bad one. We'll take that. It should let us turn the corner pretty quickly. So we can Yorion next turn. If we hit another land, we can foretell this. I guess we won't hit another land because we aren't getting this, but we can foretell it eventually. Okay. That's really good that they don't have a 1/1. Hopefully we actually hit something from their hand. Well, the fact that this... Why would you not cast this? You could have named Yorion. And we're going to play Yorion, so we will take Rook. I would have definitely played this first, though, just because you know I have a Yorion in my hand. It's very strange from our opponent. I'm probably missing something, but... because playing this into a Yorion you know I have just means I get to eat your rider for no reason, too. Oh, we'll take the land. Okay, they've got a 1/1. I think we're just chumping here because we're going to do a bunch in the air. Okay, yes. I'll take another black source. So I think killing the 1/1. I suppose we just Epiphany first. So why not? Get in there for 4. Well, that's interesting. So I guess we're going to go odd, because we'll be in a pretty good spot then. Get in there for 6. I mean, they will have this, but we have a removal spell. I think we're just going to play this as a tap land, just keep building. we do not have a lot to bring back with Dance, so we might be sacrificing these to bring back with Dance or leaving them with Yorion. Sure, we have a Will Block. It's not doing anything around that anyway, so I'd really love if they'd play a creature. Sure. Interestingly, we could kill this, so this goes to the yard. Do we care about them having... I don't think it matters either way. We'll take them being at 6, though, especially when we do the shenanigans with Yorion. That's good enough. That should end the game. Should end the game. Get in there for 1. It's making 1,000,000 flyers. Seems like a good place to be. There we go, got there. Ranking up. Loving it. Moving up in the world, right, team? Okay, well, we're up to 3 wins. We got a little ways to go. This takes a little longer than Mono Red. I think the Mono Red one was done in another 10 or 15 minutes in that video, so this might be closer to a 2-hour video if we keep on this pace. Okay, everyone settle in and enjoy. Oh, it's Oak. If he's a professor. The professor. Oh, this is... We've got the 3 lands, so we will try it. We can play this on turn 2 and then draw 3 more. This has to be the turn 1 land. So play on curve. Just hope they're not the Soul Diversion. At least this will put some pressure on them in theory. I mean, we obviously need to hit some white lands, which we're not doing quite yet. Let's play that. Hold off the choice of which one we need. If we have to, we'll go blue. But we should be able to draw at least 1,000,000 with Yorion and Blessing. So the nice thing is they probably think we're Sultai too. Okay, so drawing all the Orions is something. Put the blue, go Blessing. What do we not want here? I think eliminate. If they play a cheap creature, fine. So we have a white source. We might be playing that too. Just going Doom Foretold. Starts to get a little pressure down. Okay, the ramp game is on. They got another Haven. Good old Omen. Yeah, I think we'll go with the Doom for now. Oh, that changes that a little. We'd like to be able to pull something good out of their hand. I think Sultai eventually has the better late game. The fact that they can ramp definitely hurts. That's not great. I think we're going to make the Angel here. Try to be aggressive. So we'll make 2 angels. So Yorion next turn, and then go for the double strike and hope that that's good enough. Okay, of course they've got another binding. I say this as I'm playing a Yorion deck, but I really hate when they draw 2 of their best card when they still have 60 cards left in their deck. And you're like, oh good, they have 2 of their best card before they've even started drawing in a normal deck. Yeah, we're in a pretty bad spot now. Get in there. So the plan is probably double Omen, then Yorion. Holding up our mana, maybe it convinces them we have a counterspell too, so I don't just get Ultimatum into the ground. Maybe. But I don't know what they'd have that's not a removal spell and not an Ultimatum. Okay. So if these all somehow work out, we've got 8 power to attack them with. So I assume they have to have a removal spell. And then we'll definitely cast a Yorion. Question is, how greedy do we want to get with a Yorion? Because if we're greedy, we cast Omen first and assume we're going to hit an untapped land. I don't think we're going to be that greedy, though. I think we're just going to be happy to, if it resolves, draw 3, make a million 1/1s. Hope they can't kill us next turn. Okay, well, they've got the counter. So I need them to not have Ultimatum this turn. I mean, sure, you get our Omen. I don't think they want Doom here. Okay, they do want Doom here. I think I would have taken Omen, personally, just because we're not going to burn through that. But we probably lose here. Especially when they inevitably have a second Ultimatum. So which one do we not want them to have? Getting to Ultimate, that's real rough. I think we don't want to give them Velky. We can attack around Vorinclex, right? We can try to. That's what we're going with, at least, anyway. Especially as we've got Yorions and stuff. Yeah, no thank you. We will not block. They've got another ultimatum or another take extra turns, it's just over. We will concede on the spot to either of those. Yorion we will not concede to. It's good, especially they're going to get to go at least 5 cards deep, I guess 6 cards deep, looking for ultimatums. So most likely they will have another one. No, thank you. We will not block. If they didn't have that second binding, I think we were in a really good spot then. I have like the ability to make the angels, especially with Yorion. It just ends games very quickly. So if we odd, we get rid of that, which doesn't necessarily do us that much. Even gets rid of all of our stuff except for that, which also is not so great. We can't just leave that alive. I think we're in a real bad spot here, is the moral of the story. We're just going to concede this one. They could, in theory, have nothing. I just don't believe it after those. And if our plan is to beat them down, like we need to hit Wrath and then quite a few things. I have to think we're 0.01 to win that game. Like they somehow drew 8 lands in a row. So we'll move on to the next one, see what we can do. Okay, this is a pretty reasonable one. It's got all our mana. It's got 3 lands, as we found out is a key. These are both good against aggro decks. I mean, all this is really good against aggro decks, but it'll function against anything. Based on them playing a red land, we are going to keep the extinction event. They're probably red-green. Since this doesn't snow, I assume that. Interesting. Okay, they are not. I'll play that. So, best case, they play a creature for us to Nightmare, otherwise we'll hold up Omen. That's not the creature we... Is it hexproof? It's always hexproof. Well, since we're not hitting anything here, we're just gonna Omen. So they are just giants, it looks like. Again, indestructible. What did I actually get? Lifelink, okay. Vigilance, lifelink. So most likely we're playing this next turn for odd. So you need another blue source, right? You want to be able to flash that back right away. There you go. Oh. As we gain some life, we'll start getting in for some damage. We'll take a second black source right now. Let's go odd. Put a little bit of pressure on them. Definitely not the long-term plan of winning, especially since they have the Pyroclasm on board in the lands, but so if we were going black there, we should have just played the swamp. But at least make them play another giant before they get the flashback glimpse, which, of course. Oh, it's Death Touch. Ooh. So we're a ways away from this. We need to hit at least one more land for that. They're going to have to play more giants eventually, right? This is kind of an awkward. I guess we'll see if we can get a card out of their hand to be ready to Yori on them next turn. Probably just using these to gain life. This is going to be a sad Yorion. But if they have any kind of non-creature spell, we'll take it. Maybe it makes them play a little awkwardly. Okay. You have to crush the weak. It's been crushed. Well, they were just the mono crystalline giant hand. Apparently they're all meant to have lifelink. We don't really want to put that one in the graveyard. I guess we do. Chant giant you control. They can steal something. And we're going to get rid of Glimpse, even though they can flash it back. I just don't want them to dig anymore. Let's just exile all of those. They're odd. So the question is, are we going to be casting this? We still need another land. I don't think so, so play it tapped. Having a couple of Yorions, we should be able to do something. So if they play a giant, the next time they play one, we just Doom Foretold it. Okay, so they've got that. That's really awkward that it's a 3-drop one, so they instantly get to Glimpse. Not what we wanted. Well, we'll get the Doom Foretold on. We'll have Omen. Basically, we can hope to invalidate all of these cards for a long time. And eventually they can get a Yorion, but they'll have to burn these just to kill the extras we're getting. That's a good one, especially the fact that they can keep bouncing it. Oh, they foretold one of those. It's really odd that it hides that from you when you already know what it is. So we probably will just play out a Yorion now since we've got Elspeth Conqueror's Death to return it. It seems reasonable. This thing, we do need to draw something to deal with it. I mean, I realize they're just going to kill all of these, but at least we'll take the 2 life out of it. Discard a card. Drawing the land isn't particularly great. But unless they hit another land, they can't cast the Wrath, the other crush, and oh, they have so many crushes. That's a really good draw. Actually, we do not want to attack with that. Because it'll hold this back for the time being. Oh, yeah, that's a good choice to concede by them. There's not a good chance of them grinding through. all the shenanigans we had. Okay, well, up to 4 wins so far, making a little bit of progress. If anyone has a deck they'd like to see played in the future, definitely leave me a comment. I've been playing a little bit of Squirrel Aggro, the green-blue deck with the 4-drop that squirrel that draws cards and the time walks. It's been interesting, very hit or miss. It's very streaky, so I chose not to play that one quite yet because it seems like it could be a whole bunch of games losing in a row. I mean, we're going to keep this. We're good against anything aggro-y. We know we're not playing against a Yorion Mirror. Yeah, we'll keep that. Gets us to the 4th land for Extinction Event. We really like to start hitting a bunch of cantrips, ideally. As many of the 2-drop draw cards as we can, just so our Yorions do something. Okay, that's mostly ideal. Turn this into a 2-for-1 most likely. Hopefully get a cleave out of their hand. Did not get a cleave out of their hand. Did get the good old Frostbite. So the question is, do we want to... I mean, killing this, they've only got 2, so you have to exile 3. So I don't think they've got a good way of doing that. So I think we just kill that. See if they go for a pump. We can be a little greedy, because alternately we can hope they play this and then exile, but we're not doing anything this turn anyway. We can still cast a Yorion if we need to. Oh good, they did get greedy. We could get really greedy and hope that they go for that, but that seems unnecessary. We'll just take eating up their whole turn, and then still getting to eat the good old Phoenix. We're going to hold this. They'll play a 2-drop eventually. Might as well foretell. So best draws would be any kind of 2-drop cantrip into land. If we're going to be greedy, we'll take the 3-drop cantrip into a land too. Okay, well, we'll take that, get our 2-for-1 with Doomscar. Continue to hold on to the ability to exile. Okay, got there. I mean, if they didn't play anything, we were just going to cast Yorion for no value and start beating down. So I think we're in a good spot to win. It's tough for them to come back from that kind of situation. They'd need multiple creatures and Evercleave. Okay, we're halfway there. 5 wins. Living on a prayer. John Swearingen. Okay, so we can't cast any of the spells in our hand. It seems like we should snap keep that. It's a little better. We've got 3 lands. I think we're going to hold on to Doom Foretold over Extinction Event. I could just be wrong. Well, we don't have any black, actually, so not ideal, but we can play some things. Yeah, we're going to get rid of the Extinction Event. So playing this first, we need to find a black land, but even if things don't work out great, we get to dig really deep for it with the Scry. it is a land. It does not produce black mana, though. Come on, deck, give us a black land. Okay, that's pretty good. It'd be nice if we weren't drawing black cards, no black mana still, but because this can make itself +1/+1. We'll definitely trade 2 of these for that. I don't know why they pumped. It didn't, I mean, ace doesn't matter, but okay, that's what we needed. So the greedy part of me would want to play Doom Foretold, but we're just going to Extinction Event, I think. Actually, probably just Nightmare, because they need to hit lands for that to be good, and we'd like to start taking non-creatures. If they've got a Cleave in their hand, we'd like to start taking that away. This completely stops their aggression. See, we've got to work with. We've got another Frostbite. So I think it is just going to be Doom Foretold. And then depending on what they choose to leave around, ideally we get to Extinction Event them. Either way. Make Extinction Event a 2-for-1. Doom Foretold is a card you love playing with and hate playing against. It's always tough to make those choices of which way do I want to go. So now I think for them they're most likely playing Bone Crusher if they have the mana, but if they don't, sure, we'll exile Elspeth's Nightmare. It'd be great to get rid of their yard, but so I think we're going to end up eliminating, but let's get Yorion in our hand. Just see which one they sacrifice. Probably the Charger. In that case, we probably won't eliminate if they go to attacks, unless they try to pump. We'll take the 3 and hope we get a 2-for-1 on Extinction Event. Yeah, we'll take that. Oh, let's fetch now, since we're gonna want that Scry to actually do something for us. We will take that. That's gonna be a good one with Yorion. So now it's just about staying alive. I mean, we'd rather make them keep sacrificing things, but we'll take gaining life. Gets a body out. I assume they scooped a Blessing. Just get rid of that. The fact that we're drawing 6 here should be. There we go. Yeah, there's just not a good way to come back from that one. I mean, the opponent got Superman screwed, so it's not like they did anything wrong. That's normally how I see the red games playing out more from kind of both sides, that you you pick them apart, and it's really tough to play as the red deck. Like, if you try to play around Extinction Event, because then you lose to other things, and when they have Extinction Event, you just get blown out. And they had very little room to get to play around, just being stuck on lands. Well, again, this is just straight, we can't keep it. No castable spells. You can foretell, and then never cast it. So we'll mulligan. And we've got 3 lands. Epiphany's going to go. Love the card, but it will not be doing anything for a while. So turn 2 Omen. Turn 3. Do we have the mana for that? White, white. White, white, black. Yeah, we'll try it. Maybe they're a 60 card Epiphany deck? Or not Epiphany. I mean, it would play that, but Ultimatum. Oh, mill. Get rid of our top card. Get value. Good old, the classic mill versus Yorion. Yeah, that would have been a good one to have here. Putting some real pressure on them. So I assume there's some kind of rogues then. It's not actually just mill. They're probably the mill that's trying to get the unblocked guy and steal something, which is rough because there's some good things for them to steal from us. So we'd like a second black source then to get that up. So we've got enough lands right now. Do we want Extinction Event? If they cast the 4-drop one, we definitely do. Or the 5-drop, that lets them return stuff. I think we'll take that. Otherwise, we just want card advantage, as they'll be removing things left and right. So we are going to play Omen this turn. Next turn we play this as a black source. Then we've got Mauling up. Sure. Either way here, we should be able to, if they're, we will try to go for the block. It's trading resources is the name of our game here. That will hopefully eventually stick a Yorion and win. So either they counter this, takes up their turn, or they use a removal spell on one of these, which is also fine. Or we trade with an Enforcer. All of that is something I'm okay with. We'll want to get rid of that eventually. Having Dance really helps. That's a big plus. So we'll go with another blue. Oh, we want another black source, right, for this one. We'll get Doom Foretold out. Let's make it awkward, ideally, how they play. If they want to flash something in, great. Okay. It's a good turn for them to into the story. Not playing into this at all. We're going to play that tapped. We'll leave up this removal spell. Gain some more life. Get another card. Oh, they want to keep going with it. That's fine. We will gladly keep sacrificing things. That's the kind of game we want to be playing. I thought they would just have something garbage they'd be able to discard. Oh, they can binding it? What kind of Rose deck is this? Binding? I mean, if they target this, we're just gonna sack it to scry. Okay. They could have made me get rid of both, but we don't need the scry that bad. Go with the extra white. Get that into our hand. Let's just foretell this still, if they want a Wrath. So we're still building towards the Dance of the Mance plan is our ideal way to finish them off, but we'll jam a Yorion, see if they counter it. I wonder if they have Ultimatum in this deck. That would be the spiciest jamming of decks together. Ultimatum in your Rogue's deck. Okay, that's a good one. We're going to try to exile it. So the goal is no counterspell here. It's really interesting to have that in there. They've got some brew going. Ooh, Luris. I mean, that probably just means we're wrathing, but that's okay. 2, 4, 6, 7. So if we hit a land, we can do both. That's even better. We're going to keep holding up Wrath, because if they've got a counter, we'd rather they counter Conqueror's Death. Good deal. Since we go 3, yeah, we're going to keep the removal spell. I guess unless we think we're going to Yorion next turn. Yeah, we can do that. So we can Wrath and Yorion. We don't particularly care if they cast another creature. Esper is definitely grindier, what they've got going so far. Draw 4? Interesting. This is just salt die cards in my binder, apparently. I wonder how many counterspells they can be running in this deck then. They've got to be giving up something. You can't just jam in Phase and a bunch of main deck green cards. Disdainful Stroke, huh? That's not going to work out the way you wanted it to. I mean, it'll counter Yorion for sure. So get another counter. Okay, you got it. Let's get Yorion out. Do we want the land to dance? We might prefer that. We can cast Dance, but if they have, by chance, the Force Spike, we'd feel pretty dumb. Yeah, we'll go with that. I just don't think Luris is going to by itself be enough to get there. I could be wrong. I mean, they've got a lot of mill going, and if they've got the draw 4, they pull pretty far ahead. Yeah, we will not block that one, thank you. Okay, well, in that case, we do not need to cast Dance yet. Just try to destroy Luris. Hopefully draw out if they have a counter. Okay. Jeez. Well, if you were to crab eventually. Yeah, we're not in a good spot now. Okay, that's a little better. They don't actually have a counter. We'll probably cast this rather than the Blessing. No reason to attack. If they go to combat, we'll Omen. Okay, they're really going hard on the mill. Ideally, we would draw one of the, I don't know how many are left in here. There it is, the Elspeth's Nightmare. That's what we're really looking for, but 2 of them are gone already. Because it let us kill something, and then we can start picking apart their hand, because we need to clear away a counter spell so we can dance. Okay, I like that they're burning a negate on that. That feels pretty good. Okay, that's kind of what we've expected for a little bit. Well, it's going to come down to if they have that counter spell. So I have to assume they have another one if they were willing to negate there. But how many do we have in here? We've got plenty, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got plenty of them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we could go for 8. Let's go for 7. Come on, just don't have that counter spell. One-time dealer. Well, you got us, opponent. What a strange deck, though. I mean, it worked out very well for how the game played, that they could grind that well. Just a very strange situation. I still feel pretty good against any rogue deck, including that one. But it worked out very well for them, needing to have that resolve. I think most of it comes down to how relevant can their draw fours be, and they were very good for them. Binding definitely helps in the matchup. I suppose it's still relevant instead of being some of the earlier removal spells. I assume that deck can just never beat an aggro deck, so it's not what I would recommend in best of one. We'll keep this. When your removal spells are 4-drops in best of one, that's not where you want to be. Yeah, we'll keep that. We're going to draw something next turn anyway. Want to get things down for Doom Foretold. The good old golden egg. So we'll hold up Omen here. I mean, I guess alternately we could have killed that. We'll go for the Omen and kill something either way. Okay. Interesting. Oh, you just let me kill whatever you want, I guess. Yeah, we'll let this stay alive. It's not my favorite thing ever, but I guess that means we're Heartless acting next turn. Otherwise, we can just set up Doomscar. Yeah, we'll just set up Doomscar. No reason to get two. I think we're just going to kill this anyway. Like, just make them try to keep committing things to the board. Because they will not beat us with 5 power attacking. If they play nothing, we Doom Foretold. If they play something, then we Doomscar. Okay, so we're going to Doomscar. Since we're Doomscarring, we might as well not take 3 more. Bye-bye, creatures. It still will be fine as they hit lands, but it's a lot less good when you have to pay 4 to equip. Ideally, just hit a land here. No land is not my favorite thing ever, but let's Doom Foretold. They have to try to play through it, so they can equip and get in for 5. Oh, that's a beating. They will not get in for 5 now. That's good. I think it's pretty clearly Wrath here. Take our 2 for 1, get a 4/4. They can alternately every turn, I mean, as soon as they hit that 5th land. Okay. Oh, you get the Savior too? He's so selfless. Let's get in there. We can hold up gaining 3 life if we need to. Yes, you can sacrifice the Savior. The reason we're doing that is the next turn we can conquer death. alternately, we can actually just cast Yorion too, which is what we maybe do. We'll Elspeth first and then bounce it. Look at them gaining life. Oh, we get nothing. You get nothing. Skyclave. Get another creature on the board. Start beating down. So yeah, they should be making a creature end of our turn, trying to equip with Skyclave. Okay. Since we've got this, I don't think it really matters. We'll let them go for the equip. Oh, we don't want to do that then, do we? Yeah, we'll get some extra. Well, I guess this is coming off next turn. Yeah, we might as well go for Yorion now then. That's probably going to get a concession too. If it doesn't, it should very soon. There we go. I don't think they have a good route to victory from there. Realistically, they don't have a good route for victory, even making a 1/1 and turning into a 3/3 flyer every other turn. It's just not going to get there. Okay, up to 7 wins. We're making some good headway now. While we're in between games, again, if you'd consider liking, subscribing, definitely appreciate it. We'll continue to put out videos, try to build up the channel a little more. Kind of an average player, let everyone see what's going on. Luris or against rogues, most likely. We like this. It's got some early plays, got our mana. So we're going to play blue first so we can Omen if we want to. We'll keep that. We can curve out a little better then, at least 2/3, which is what I'm concerned about. Oh wait, we don't have a black. Less good. That's a mistake. I was thinking we had a black untap, so we can't completely curve out. Probably still hold up the Nightmare for... Okay, so they're cycling instead. That's definitely less good for us because this should just be a 3/3. We will keep that. That's a good one. Okay, well then we're going to Nightmare to get rid of one of them. Maybe we can also hit a... whatever the big fireball is from them. I can't even think what it's called anymore. Have not played that draft format in a while. Okay, getting Improbable Alliance is probably good for them. Oh, we're just getting rid of a Cycler. Okay, so this doesn't do us any good. So I don't think it matters to kill the Fox right now. We can cast... Yeah, getting to exile their yard too makes that so much better. See if we can make them go for some of it on their turn. The Alliance is going to start to put some damage down. That's a good one. But it is even, so we can kill all of that next turn, which is fine. Let's just get rid of that now. No reason to take extra damage. We'll Omen, probably Extinction Event, and then we'll Yorion the turn after. And then we need to just race this as the real. We don't want either of those, actually. Heartless Act is not exactly what we wanted. We'd love more of those. We'll take about as many of those as the deck will give us. It's Extinction Event for even. I mean, they will hit more cycling cards, so they'll be able to make 1/1s, or they'll continue to hit lands, and then this will make 1/1s itself. Good old slow Bitter Blossom. I assume it's just putting Lurrus is pretty bad with where they're at, but might just be putting Lurrus in their hand. Okay, that's a good follow-up for them. I assume they do not have cycling now based on that, so we're going to kill that off. That was based on the fact that they didn't cycle on their turn. Not in a hurry to draw more lands. They go 3. They can cast and play Lurrus, but let's play Yorion. They can't bring anything back with it, so playing a Yorion should put us in a pretty good spot. They just will make a 1/1 every turn forever. So we will Elspeth Conquers Death that. That seems reasonable. Yorion can hold some things back. Doomscar should be pretty good. Do we need the land then? So we're not going to Heartless Act something into Doomscar. Yeah, we'll keep the Doomscar. We do not need the land then. I mean, we're going to make them commit to the board more before we Doomscar anyway. Yorion can hold back a big chunk of their team for right now. Do they have a counter spell? That's interesting. Dance makes me feel better about this, just to be honest. So we will build towards everything we can ever want. Let's just destroy Lurrus. We will not attack. We're not in a hurry to trade damage. We may end up sacking Omen at some point. But we'll let them build up a little bit of a board and then Doomscar. We just need to make sure we don't get cheesed out by a double burn us for 1,000,000, and then I think we're in a good spot. They will have a lot of drawing power in their deck right now with this, so they should keep hitting what they want to. We'd like to have either opponents giving up or they've disconnected. We'd like to get more than just this. I mean, this is a good one to get going, but when we're dancing the Mance, we'd like it to be for 4 or 5 things. So we can Wrath and then cast Elspeths to return Yorion. So best draws will take any of the cantrip, the Omen or the Egg. Love the 3 mana, draw 3, that deals damage. Doom Foretold would actually be fine to get rid of this, so we would take that too. Cycling deck is interesting. I think this is a great addition to it, just to make it more consistent and go a little more wide. Let's see what the opponent's got. Yeah, I think our preferred route is, assuming they choose to continue playing, build up a little bit and then eventually have dance be our end. And we need 2 more lands before we can do that anyway, so it's a little ways away. We do not have a lot of great avenues to victory, though, from our hand. Like, they can still hope to fill up the art a little bit without knowing we have some of these options, and then try to burn us out. Make a couple fairies and go wide. There we go. We'll take that. I think we were pretty favored to win. Not guaranteed, but especially if we hit any kind of cantrip, it's going to turn it into multiple more cantrips and cascade. Okay, we're up to 8 wins. Let's see if we can get a couple more and finish this off. Finish off on a strong note. See, this will take about exactly twice as long as mono red. That would seem about right. Well, this is an easy not keep. We can almost cast a single, well, 2 spells, I guess. I'm going to talk myself into it with being able to cast both of these. I think we're going to go for it. We'll go crazy. I haven't got punished at all for keeping 2 landers. So play that tapped, just because we're not doing anything turn 1. Probably this on turn 2. We'll get the Doom Scar. Alternately, we can try to... Interesting. Let's cancel that. We do not want... So if they go for the equip, we'll probably just Heartless Act. Now we will not Heartless Act. Assuming they try to equip here. If they equip on this one, then we'll take the 1. Yeah, because the plan is going to be to exile everything with Extinction Event, so just cast Omen. So we'll get at least 2 things. Hopefully they play more 1-drops. Doom Foretold should be a reasonable one. I mean, they can sacrifice that and keep playing it, but it still is a card I'm happy with. That's a heck of a beatdown, though. So, playing this, we're going to have to go with the Doomscar so we can hold that up. I think we might be okay with lands here. We've got enough stuff to do. We just want to keep casting. So we can either play this to follow up a Wrath with, or we can hold that. There's really no reason to go. We'd be going after the 1/1 token. So again, our best case is they play either a 1-drop or a 3-drop. I don't think they're playing a 3-drop. I could see them playing a 1-drop. guy's been very strong. Definitely better than I thought it would be. That's not good, though. I'm very glad we held up or kept our act, because we need to be able to kill that. That's also outstanding for us. They don't make a 1/1. We'll take another black mana here. Go odd, get rid of both of these. I don't think that works the way you want it to. Unless they've got a Lurrus, then it works just the way they want it to. Okay. That, unfortunately, for our opponent will not be good enough to... You can equip it, it won't do anything, but you can do it. We'll take another white mana here. Might as well get that set up. Maybe it's better to get Yorion. We're not in a hurry to do these. We basically need them just to not have a Selfless Savior. No reason to let them return it either. Maybe there's some value in that. I think it's just better to get Doom Foretold going. I mean, the Maul is an easy sacrifice for them first. No, I thought Maul was an easy sacrifice. Apparently not. Go for that sweet, sweet equip. Okay, does this matter? Which mana we need? We've got double blue, we've got double white. We're gonna go with the white, or the black in this case. So this does nothing. Wrathing does do something. Ultimately, we're gonna sacrifice our Doom Foretold then, but that's okay-ish. And we're doing that either way. Otherwise, we're epiphanying. Yeah. We'll just cast this. Get rid of their creature while we can. Put Yorion in our hand, just being mana efficient. Need to make a 1/1, which is fine. Well, I guess we won't even kill that. We're just gonna cast Epiphany here. It's not the best effect of it ever, but it'll trade with some 1/1s. This is just going to turn into a card draw spell. We're going to get in for 2. This will either make a 2/2 or they'll cast something, which we're fine with. Sure, you did it. Yeah, we'll do the beatdown with birds and leave him back. Oh, that's a beating and a half. So now the place we're going to have to, assuming that they bring the Savior back, we're going to have to use this targeting the Savior and then Doom Foretold them on. Sure, you got it. Get in for 2 in the air. Slowly get those bird beats going. Yeah, you don't get to cast something before. If they draw another Lurrus, then we're in trouble. I think there should be a concession soon. Oh, we will definitely sacrifice that one. That's not doing anything. The question is, do we want to trade this with 2 1/1s? Not really. We'll get in there for 2, though. Let's play Urion. Yeah, we will bounce that for value. So much value. We can Wrath then for value too. So basically they're sacrificing that. I don't know what draw they have that actually gets them out of this. I thought it was going to be the kill a dude. Yeah, we'll sack the Foretold, try to get them on a 2-turn clock with Yorion. Give something else pro. And we don't have it 100% locked up because if they have some way to start killing creatures, I guess. Now we do. We were a huge favorite to win, but not having any of the card draw, I think they, in theory, had a chance. Got up to 9 wins. Okay, let's see if we can finish this off. We're just slowly casting 10 creature spells over like 15 games. Every time we cast a Yorion, just get there a little bit at a time. That quest. This is not the deck to aggressively go after that one. Okay, we've got our mana. We've got a lot of ways to draw cards, so this is a pretty easy keep. Yeah, we'll keep that. Against anything going long, we're already going to draw a bunch of cards. If they're an aggro deck, we'll be happy to have that. So they are an aggro deck. They're apparently not a snow aggro deck. We're going to hold up Act and Omen. I mean, stops them from gaining a life. I think the plan is going to be to Wrath, though. Apparently they really didn't want to attack. We'll take that. So we'd like another white source would be great. I think we'll just take the Nightmare, though. That's going to be a good turn 3 play. We'll get the Blessing eventually. Take another black. We'll get that Doomscar eventually. Target to Exos. Let them sack the other one if they want to. Then if they have any kind of shenanigans. Let's take a power card out of their hand. So most likely next turn, we're going to foretell this and play a land. That will change that plan now. Now we'll just be killing Daxos. Oh, look at that. They made sure we had none of them. Okay, they've got some options. They can Skyclave. We do have enough lands now. Make them try to play the grindy game through that. Most likely they're playing these two, which is fine. Then we'll just go for the Wrath. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing actually is we don't even really need to go for the Wrath this turn. We can just do it next turn. I mean, they can put some counters on, but that's not gaining haste. Alternately, we can Wrath this turn, take 3. Yeah, let's do this, because they're going to play this guy out then, and then we will Wrath them. Because they're going to think they can get around Doom Foretold. We won't do their job for them, because they're only going to hit us for 3 anyway. Or they can equip, but then we'll just keep doing the Doom Foretold game, and we're okay with that. Mono White will not win the Doom Foretold game. Look at them gaining that life, though. They're at 23. Yeah, I think we're going to get a concession from them real quick, probably after we Wrath. If not, we'll be playing this into Yorion. Really gonna... Oh, they did the correct play here. Make us sack this. Yeah, they did it right. Good job, opponent. And then when this dies, we get a smaller body. Do we want to go with this instead? There's not really a good reason to right now. We'll let the opponent keep playing. Look at that, you're gaining life. You're doing things. I mean, Extinction Event's pretty good, but we don't even need it. Elspeth Conquers Death covers that. Just gonna keep digging for more gas. If I take a turn off to play Heliod, fine. Oh, you get Speaker. That's actually a reasonable little clock there. So I think we have to Elspeth's just get rid of this thing so they can't go up on enough life. Not exactly how we want to use Elspeth's, but good old ECD. It should be okay though. If we lose this one, then I'll feel real silly. So basically just need to keep them from getting to 27. Oh, well that's a beating. Apparently we will lose this one now. That's the best draw they could have had. Just the single best draw. 3, so we can get rid of Does this matter? We've got 3 black, 3 blue, 3 white. So I think we can, yeah, we'll get the, we'll exile this one. Hope they don't have a second copy. If they have a second copy, then we are looking pretty bad. Then we need to find a way to deal with the speaker eventually. That's still a pretty good one for them. I think you should have done that before. You could have attacked with a 5/5. So if they attack into this, we can, I mean, we're definitely going to chump with that. Let's actually leave up the second white, white-black. Well, second blessing's a pretty terrible draw. If we're being honest. That's probably about the worst draw we could have. That and 2 lands. So I think we found the way to lose here. Have them have their best card followed by that. Ugh. So I think we need to... Do they just have us dead then? So assuming they can't turn him on. If they do, then we're super dead. They can attack for, what, 8, 10? Yeah, so they've just got us dead then. Wow, good job, opponent. We drew not the best for that. I don't think we should have lost that game. I probably messed up somewhere along the way to lose that one. Maybe it should have been an extinction event that we held on to. Maybe that was too greedy. I think going for gas is the way to go, though. Because if they get to... If you extinction event, even if you get the 2-for-1 and they rip 3 or 4 creatures off the top, I think those are the games you more often lose. That was just a spectacular series of hitting a perfect card followed by us drawing mostly lands or cards that were not relevant. We're just going to go on to the next game with this one. I don't really want to play the Yorion Mirror at this point. It's been about 2 hours, so we'll take that loss and move on to the next game. Especially the Yorion Mirror, that was not a keepable hand. Being down a card does not help in that mirror. And Keist. Okay. Arena's preordained, we're playing the mirror. We need lands. We also do not need blessing. Okay, so we'll cast Omen. We're digging for some of our power cards here, because that's the only way we're going to win this mirror. So we'll probably Omen next. Doomscar doesn't do anything for us, so we've still got potentially up to 5 lands. Yorion's not a bad one. Are you playing Yorion on curve more? I'm doing anything anything this turn, then yeah, we'll take the 3 life. Try to start getting some damage down with Omen. Blessing Yorion. Try to just go to town that way. I think we're a reasonable dog in this matchup. But maybe a faster Yorion draw will be enough to get us there. If they can kill it, then we can always return with Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. Or Elspeth Conqueror's Death. That's not a bad one either. That might be the right formula for stealing a win. So I guess we're Blessing, most likely. Do we want a Yorion next turn? We might actually. Then do we want a Blessing is the question. Yeah, we will. Let's get our maximum value for Yorion. If that's the way we decide to go. We could also get Epiphany set up, which we may do. That's pretty awkward, actually. I mean, at least we've got a removal spell for it, but that's not ideal. I mean, we're still in an okay spot based on what we've drawn. That's a pretty good one. I mean, it's not crucial to us to have Yorion back right away, but we want to Thoughtseize them is the big value. Bring the beats down. So we're going to draw so much off of this, I think we might actually just get the Epiphany ready to go. And kill a 1/1? Yeah, you will. So they're feeling a little under the gun if they're killing 1/1s. So they probably have a counter spell, which is nice that they can hide it from this. Jeez, that is a hand. So, I mean, we have to take Dispute, because otherwise we just can't cast Yorion. That's what we really want to try to do. The fact that they have double of these is just brutal. Yeah, let's take a Dispute. If they had one, we'd be feeling on top of the world. Yep, go ahead, counter it. Okay, we'll take that. Get to draw a million. I don't know if it'll be good enough to overcome their things. We will get another land down. We're going to have a million cards, so... we might actually want Act, because we want to be able to take care of Vorinclex. I don't think we need the more draw right now. Discard a card. I think Egg is a fine one to get rid of for right now. So we're going to give them Vorinclex and maybe an extra turn. Okay, so they do not have the land. That's also very good for us. So depending if they've got a removal spell, they should go for it now. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. We can do 2 more on top of that, so we can do lethal if they don't have a way to interact. So if they've got a removal spell, they should be pointing it at Yorion right this minute. Unless they have 2 removal spells, then it doesn't matter. Okay, well, unless I can't math, they should be dead. Let's get a blue source out. Cool. Yep, there we go. We stole Yorion Mirror. That seems to be the way we gotta go. Just go on the beatdown plan and get there. Well, thank you for everyone who stuck around for it. Definitely was a longer video today. Had some good matches. Appreciate it. Again, if you consider liking and subscribing, leave a comment. And thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.